Okay, so this shiur is dedicated to Ilui Nishmat Gavriel Ben Chusni and to Ilusha Ben Mazal and to my father Gedalia Moreno Ben Matilda. Yehi Nishmatam Tzurah B'Tzorah Chaim. Amen. So we have this week's parasha. Fascinating stuff. And we have the story of the Aton, of the mule, or the donkey. And the donkey tells Bilam, and she says to him the term Shlosha Chodashim, 3 months. Three holidays, Shlosha Regalim. Three regalim. So Chazal saw in the words of the Aton a hint, a remez of what he is coming to do is to uproot a nation that celebrates Shlosha Regalim Bashana. Regalim means a holiday, 3 times. The Maran Chagiga talks about it and so on and so forth. However, we're recording this. So the question is, what is the remez that the Aton is trying to tell us, specifically in the mitzvah of Shalosh Regalim? So, in order to do that, we can look at the Shem Mishmuel, and he holds that in this mitzvah comes to be expressed Avodat Hashem mitoch simcha, Avodat Hashem from joy, and he writes Sheba mitztainim Israel. The Jews are known to doing Avodat Hashem besimcha. And it says, "Vayiftach Hashem et pi ha'aton, v'tomer leBilam, me asiti lecha ki kitani ze shalosh regalim." So, in the words of the Aton is a female mule, a female donkey. When she reminds in her complaint against Bilam shalosh regalim, Rashi writes, following the words of Chazal, "Ramaz lo ata mevakesh la'akor uma hachogeget shalosh regalim bashana." What you're trying to do is you're trying to uproot a nation that goes to the Temple Mount that celebrates 3 different holidays. You want borekas? Now, we need to explain why dafka that. What's exactly in this mitzvah, and what's exactly the question of the Shem Mishmuel? And he writes, Lama ramza lo dafka b'mitzvah zot? Why did the Aton, the donkey, specifically refer to Bilam the issue of Shalosh Regalim, when we go to the Temple Mount to Yerushalayim? And the Shem Mishmuel brings a description of 2 different types of what we call Avodat Hashem. And of course that goes after the words of the Maharal in Netzach Israel in Perek Gimel, and I'm quoting, Yesh shnei mine avdut. There are 2 different types of slavery. Achat she'osa michamat hatzivui shenitztavu hazeh. One that does it because that's what they commanded to do, so that's what they do. Ve'eno yachol liftor et atzmo mizeh, cannot exempt himself from doing so. Ve'ilu hayta lo meniya umakom liftor et atzmo mizeh, haya poter et atzmo. And if he had a way to exempt himself from doing so, he would have done this, he would not have done this job. Remember what I asked you many, many times. If all of a sudden God comes and tells you, guys, you know what? I decided no more olam haba. Are you still going to do the mitzvot? Are you still going to keep Shabbat? Are you still going to go up to Shacharit every morning and so on and so forth? And that's a question that you need to ask yourself. And it says, V'yesh she'oseh retzon Hashem michamat shebehemet hu retzono la'asot kirtzono yitbarach. And there are those who do exactly what they do because that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. Ve'af im hayta lo meniya, and if you have even an excuse or a way to do so, haya mesalek ha'meniya bekol kocho, he would remove all the excuses that he had not to do so with all his power, only to do whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. Why? Me'achar ki etzem retzono his will of the person is to do HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will. ולא לפתור את עצמו מחמת החיוב, and he would not exempt himself from the obligation that he had. He does it because he wants to do it. Of course, that shows each and every one of us a very big mirror to look at. What exactly and why are we doing what we're doing? If we are doing, why are we doing this? So there are people who, what we call is Oved Hashem, he does the mitzvot, that all his will is to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he makes a big effort to do so, even though it's difficult for him. It's hard, it's difficult for him. However, he overcomes his difficulties, and he does Ratzon Hashem. I have in my computer a very, for me at least it's an inspiring picture. You see a guy sitting with his gi. You know what a gi is, right? The gi is for karate suit or judo, right? And he sits like this in a cross-legged, and he has duct tape on his toes and duct tape on his hands, and the hands are bleeding and so on and so forth. And it says there, 2 words you should never say, I can't. Which is, for me, I always look at it and say, oh, you know what, I can do it. It's not so difficult, I can do it. So what's your attitude? If you're going to find, and if you want, you'll find 1,000 excuses not to do and 1,000 reasons to blame everybody for your lack of doing. But really it's you. It's nobody else but you. And this is also in Avodat Hashem. And there are people who do so because I don't have a choice, That's what I have to do. I don't want to go to hell, so I do so, as they say, just to exempt myself from that, but I don't really want to do it. If it was up to me, I would not do it. So after this definition, the Shemush Moel continues, and he explains that there is a big difference between these two people that we call them Ovdei Hashem. They worship Hashem. And that comes in the way you do your job. And here I'm quoting, והעיקר, and the difference, שבין שני מיני העובדים הנ"ל, ייבחן עם העבודה שעושה היא בשמחה, הוא מתגעגע אחריה, הוא מצפה לה לומר מתי תבוא לידי ואני. The way to measure that, which one you belong to, or which one this person belongs to, depends on the joy that he has in this mitzvah, and the fact that he asks himself, when can I do it again? When would I have the chance to do this again? I really want to try it. I really want to do it again. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. For example, let's say you go on vacation, and it's really like an awesome vacation. You're going to
Wyoming?
Wyoming. Something more exotic. You're having some, I don't know, I wouldn't say Thailand, but you're going to something like really fun. It's meaningful. And before you go on the plane to come back, you say to your friend, so when we do this again?
Sounds like Amsterdam.
Right? And if you haven't done it, so maybe it's about time to do something like this so you understand what I'm saying. When do you ask yourself, I can't wait till the next time I'm going to shake a lulav. I can't wait till the next time I'm going to daven Shmona Esrei. That's right. If you don't do so besimcha, oh God, I have to daven again. I'm so tired of this already. How much can we pray? How much can you pray? If you're a Muslim, you pray 5 times a day. And not talking. You're doing like this exercise. Shadu Allah,
Anything else about Allah?
Allah's Akbar. Right? However, how do you about to do a mitzvah? When you put your tefillin on and you're about to take it out, you can't wait to take it out? No, you at the door. Bye, I'm out of here. Or you're saying this, I don't want to take it out. That's a little longer. Just let me, even if I'll talk to you with my tefillin on, I don't want to take my tefillin out. When can I put tefillin? I have to wait another 24 hours to put tefillin again. I wish I could do this. Maybe one day I have a zchut to have tefillin on all day long. Where's your attitude? Where's your heart? And that's what he writes. It says, it all depends on the joy. And he says so, that the difference between the two of the Hashem, the person who does it because he wants to, or to the person who does so because he has to, he says the difference between the Jews and the Gentiles of the world. Umot ha'olam only do what they were commanded specifically. And that's what Bilam says. Lo uchal la'avor et pi Hashem. I cannot violate whatever Hashem tells me. If I could, I would, believe me. But I can't because Hashem, told me. But if I could, I would. That's the attitude of Bilam. And Rabotai, we're going to bring it home real soon. It's a little long, but it's okay. We have plenty of food here, and the sunset is just happening. So we have a long time till Tzet HaKochavim. So, but we're going to bring it home, and you're going to see. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it, but that's the truth. And that's Bilam. Bilam says, no, if I could, I would, but I really can't. Now, he didn't say this is Retzon Hashem. On the contrary, he said if I could, I would, but Hashem tells me not to, so The Jews are different, they're just the opposite. Everything that it comes to Avodat Hashem, they do besimcha, they do with joy, bizrizut, and so on and so forth. Now, like making pilgrimage to the temple Madi in Yerushalayim. That was difficult. You have to leave everything behind you. You have to do everything. You'll sleep in the street.
Jews to Hashem like mischievous child,
But we do so, yes. But we do so, and that's a beautiful analogy. Like a child. However, a child does not. Yes, doesn't make a difference. But a child does it with all his heart. An adult already starts to reason. It's not pure. So doing aliyah la regel, it's a very difficult thing. You have to go, you have to sleep in a stranger's house, you're out of your bed, there's not the 5 stars of care, the comfort number on your sofa, whatever it is you do, No, you have to rough it out. But Israel does it besimcha. And they leave everything behind and they go to Yerushalayim, and everything is with the essence, and that's why it says, Umah chogeget shalosh regalim, a nation that celebrates 3 times a year. That the chagiga is lashon simcha. Chagiga refers to celebration. Korban chagiga, celebration. Chag comes from joyous time, chagiga, which is celebration, zman simcha. That's why simcha b'chag is a must. You have to be sameach in the chag. V'samachta b'chagecha. And you have to be joyous when you have to be joyous. And that is the Chag. And it says, and the expression of Bilam, Lo chal la'avor et pi Hashem, gives a testimony on him that he's really obligated to do what Hashem wants, but really he himself is not really up to him. Which is completely different than the Jews. The Jews really, they would do so besimcha rabbah. And that's the difference, the remez that the donkey wants to give Bilam. Says to him, you're doing what you're doing only because you have to. And you want to kill, you want to curse a nation that does whatever Hashem tells him besimcha and bejoy. Now you understand the connection between zrizim, zrizut b'Torah, and so on and so forth. That's why you cannot be a lazy person when you are a Jew. You have to get up. First thing in the morning, you have to get up. You can't tell me, oh, Rabbi, I can't get up, I'm tired. What do you mean you can't get up, you're tired? That means you're like Bilam. There's something wrong with your Jewish point inside of you. Hashem is waiting for you to daven. And you sleeping? Is it min davar zeh? So the Jews come, right, and they really want to. It looks like they're grabbing the mitzvot. They're grabbing the mitzvot. Tefillin, tzitzit, I'll put. What's it going to bring us? How many mitzvot you got there? About 613. Allah tavi. How much it goes? Nothing. Allah tavi gam midrabanan. We'll take everything. That's the attitude of the Jew. I want to do so because I want to. Like, for example, let's say a person gets married, even to your mother. You're bringing a gift, let's say to your mother. Or bringing a gift to your wife. It's a birthday or something. You bring a gift because you want to or because you have to. And that will make a big difference in the way you present it. It doesn't make a difference what you buy. It makes a difference of how you give it. Here, I bought you a 5-carat ring. I'll take it. What's that? I'm sorry, I bought you, that's all I have. I bought you, I don't know. It's all in your attitude. And attitude is a big obstacle. Well, if you married the wrong wife, she says, I don't care about your attitude, just give me the ring. But that's marrying the wrong wife. Now, the thing of the Jew, that the Jew desires that. I mean, for 2,000 years, we are desiring back to have Bet HaMikdash. Why do we desire to have Bet HaMikdash back? We desire to have Bet HaMikdash back for one reason and one reason only. So we could do Avodat Hashem. So we can do whatever Hashem wants us to do. Korbanot, the Chag, and Yom Kippurim, Avodat HaMikdash. We feel that something is missing with us, that we're taking that. So for people to say, just a temple mount, it's a piece of real estate, it's no more than that. It's a person that doesn't understand the essence of what does it mean to be a Jew. A Jew that cannot do a mitzvah feels that something is missing from him. Something was taken away from him. You took something away from me. It's mine. I got it. It's mine. Why are you taking it away? I want to do it. And so is to everything else, Rabotai. When you coming to learn Torah, why are you coming to learn? Are you running? Remember what we said when we finished the Masechta. Hem ratzim ve'anu ratzim. They are running and we are running. But you have to know, the ritzah, the running, is ledvar mitzvah. Anu ratzim lechaya olam haba. And then, if we go back to Parashat Behar, right? And the Noam Elimelech said in Parashat Behar, צריך השם יתברך הוא לצוות מחדש השפע שתלך כמו מתחילת הבריאה. הקדוש ברוך הוא needs to command back the abundance to come as it was in creation before man started to manipulate things. What do I get out of this? What do I get out of this? How many people do you know do what they do because they feel a sense of a mission, that they are driven to do what they need to do because of a mission that they have, and not because they have to? How many people, even when it comes to Rabbanut, how many people are self-promoting themselves but don't see in being a rabbi as a mission that should run to serve the people, like Moshe and Aaron ran to serve the people? Yeah. And that's a problem. That's a problem because you're supposed to give an example of how to do things. Sasania limratecha kemotze shalal rav. I'm running, I'm rejoicing after your word like I found a big treasure.
Set an example.
We run away from it. And you wonder why your kid doesn't listen to you. You wonder why your kid doesn't learn or doesn't keep Shabbat. Because of your example. Your example. You have to run. And that's a matter of attitude and seriousness and understanding. However, the state that we're at many times is because of Balak, of Bilam, of what he did to us. And it says in Tehillim over there, I'm sorry, let me just go back. And he continues over there, he says, HaTorah melamedet le'adam darkei Hashem. The Torah teaches you how Hashem wants you to operate. שיהיה שלם בביטחונו על אלוקיו. That you have to be shalem, whole, harmonious with your belief in Hashem. When you trust Hashem, you don't trust Hashem. שלא ניפול במחשבתנו שלנו. That we're not going to fall into our way of thinking, just like everybody else. And we're going to bring about the question, מה נאכל? What are we going to eat? Where are we going to get money from? How are we going to manage? The Gemara tells us, if a person has bread in his basket today and he asks what I'm going to eat tomorrow, he is one of those with, Tanei Emunah. He doesn't have a bitachon in Hashem. What are you worried about tomorrow? Who said you're going to be tomorrow? But why are you worried about, And that's something that we need to understand. And he says, because when we ask those things and we ask this question, we remove the shefa, the abundance from us, because that's a point of lack of emunah. I'm not saying sit home and just, calf like this. You got to do something, but you have to understand that everything comes from Hashem. To ask how I'm going, it's not going to be good. It's not. Why wouldn't it be good? Hashem will take care of you. Hashem does take care of you. Why don't you believe in that? What's your problem? And it says, לא תתנהגו כך ותפתחו בהשם בכל לבבכם ואז תלך השפע בלי הפסק כלל תמיד לא יחסר בו כלום. If you're going to trust Hashem in that way and you're not going to behave like this, there's going to be an endless abundance of what is going to come your way. As it says in Tehillim, Kol mitzvotecha emunah. All your mitzvot are a matter of emunah. Emunah means belief. And the shoresh, the root of Chayei Torah, and kiyum mitzvot, and doing the mitzvot, is emunah. As we explained from the words of Netivot Shalom, that's why when they entered the land, immediately they had to keep Shemitah. Because it's a measure of emunah. I'm going to leave everything behind. Hashem told me to keep Shemitah. I'm doing what it is. I'm not going to speculation. Well, what will happen? Maybe there will be rain, there won't be rain. Hashem told you. That's why we have to do so. And when a person does Shemitah, he acknowledges, this is not mine. Everything is from Hashem. And since everything is from Hashem, he told me to do so, and I'm doing so. And as much as he told me to do so, he told me he will provide for me, so he will provide for me. And for that you need internal koach. You have to understand that a person does not have kinyan prati. You don't have individual acquiring that is yours. Everything that you have was given to you by Hashem. Given to you for whatever reason Hashem sought to give to you. But you don't own anything. Nothing is yours. Everything is from Hashem. And we make a bracha when chas v'shalom a person is niftar. Hashem natan, Hashem lakach, Yishem Hashem mevorach. God gave, God took, God's name will be blessed forever. That we need to understand. Why do we say, you said Hashem Melech? Why do we say Hashem Melech? To remind yourself every day who is the boss.
Yep.
And it's not you, and it's not me. Now, the war that we're facing here, we have time. The war that we're facing here is a very difficult war, and it's not the war that you think. The war that has been going on is a war, battle that is being, and I'm not using the word battle, I should not use the word war. It's been going on since the time of Balak and Bilam on Am Yisrael. And there's a very, very, very difficult battle that we're going through, where Balak and Bilam trying to close the gates of Kedusha, of holiness coming to this world. Moshe is Keneged Sfirat Hadat de Kedusha. Da'at of Kedusha, that's Moshe Rabbeinu. Balak u Bilam, that's Da'at of Tum'ah, the opposite of Moshe Rabbeinu, just on the opposite. And also the tzipor, the special bird that Avodah Zarah, that Balak had, which we used to use that to make magic, the name of that was Yadua, right? Mishom Yeda. So with this bird, he knew everything, and Balak knew that now there is a new force in the world, and that's the formation of Am Yisrael, bringing about Kedusha, holiness to the world. But it's very important for us to understand that. And it says, Hine Am Yatsa Mimitzrayim. Here's a nation came out of Egypt. What do you mean Hine? They've been out already for 40 years. But they've been forming into a holy nation for 40 years. And that is something that they don't want. You should know that if you want to control the masses, let them do whatever dark thing they want to do. Whatever it's laws, you break it. They want to get stoned, let them smoke for free. They want to have irresponsible sex, go ahead. You think any of these politicians that really march there really hold so much about those things? No. But however, they do so for politics, because they know what the people want and they're going to give it to them, just so they can get elected.
Yep.
No more than that. That's why I don't like politicians, they're all liars. Liars. It's all pushing out the immorality of in the world. And immorality, and I'm not such a righteous person, but immorality destroys society. Society is built on a solid structure when everybody knows its boundaries, what is allowed and what is not allowed. Otherwise, we're creating an anarchy. And everything goes. And tomorrow I don't like you, I think you're ugly, I'll shoot you, I'll kill you, lama lo, you know. And so on and so forth. I take the law to my hands. That doesn't work. So that comes from Balak and Bilam. And he is not, and it says, he's actually afraid that he's going to change his whole reality. Balak is afraid that Am Israel coming into its land and settling in the land will create an anchor of Kedusha in the world that will be an example, and that will challenge his existence. And you'll see that most of the time, those who are anti-religion are actually those who want everything to be allowed. The regular guys don't care about this. They're busy making a living. Just those guys, something is wrong with it because it comes from the side of the Tum'ah. So therefore he goes, he's not afraid of going to a war here. He's afraid of the battle up there, in the spiritual battle that is up there. Now you should know that klala, cursing, is touching the roots of the person in which you curse. And that's called kitzutz benetiot, cutting on the branches. If you want to really kill a tree, you can cut the tree, but you'll see it'll grow. Cut down the roots. Cut down the roots, you curse them. And how? You put a pirud, you separate the roots from the person. You separate this, and that's exactly what happens. The kedusha of Am Yisrael, or the shefa, the abundance of Am Yisrael, comes because of its holiness. You want to affect Am Yisrael, affect its kedusha. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. And then all of a sudden things are bad. And the greatest danger, of course, we can understand, comes because of that. As the Zohar says, that at the moment that Balak and Bilam came to fight Israel was the greatest danger of all. Because the milchama was on the da'at, on knowledge, on understanding. How I'm going to look at the world. And da'at shlema means a complete unification. Hu yada, v'adam yada et Chava. He didn't say, and man slept with Chava. He said he knew her. Knowing her is the highest level of unification. I know you. We are completely connected. And that's why even on let's put it this way, even on a sexual interaction, there are different levels of connection that beyond that, at the top of all, is all about knowledge. I know you. You are becoming one of me. You're not an object. You're becoming me, and I'm becoming you. I know you. Knowing you means I really know who you are and what you're about, what you like, what you do. I know everything you. I am you and you are me. And they're trying to create a separation. And we should know that chibur, that unification, is the essence of what we call dvekut shlema b'kadosh baruch hu, or complete attachment, a complete dedication to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That unity, we have mechubar. By the way, everything that we talk about here in regards to HaKadosh Baruch Hu applies also between a husband and wife. It's a relationship, just any other relationship. And it says, as long as HaKadosh Baruch Hu, davuk, is dedicated to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as long as Am Yisrael, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu are connected, the dvukim, attached, glued, no nation and no language could oppress them and rule them. It has nothing to do, unlike most of the Israelis, they think that with armies, with tanks, with airplanes, no, you don't win it. Because if America doesn't want you to have planes, what are you going to do? Put bombs on paper planes. It's all HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You don't win wars like that. So as long as you should do so, no nation could harm you. They won't even think of harming you. Because they know the unity of Am Yisrael as a unit, and you should know that our internal unity affects our unity with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because if we are separated, we cannot connect as a group to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're individuals connected, not a group connected. It's like, for example, let's say you marry a wife, and you love her very, very much. But she says to you, today I love you only with my right ear, not with my left ear. Or today my right hand is very angry with you. So, what are you, crazy? What's the matter with you? It's just all or nothing. So that's why we get upset when people break ourselves from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, themselves from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they put a division in ourselves because it affects us. So don't think that you put your feeling on and you daven 3 times a day and you do all these things and you don't care about the secular Jew, because you should understand it affects you as well. Your ability to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is impaired because you need him too. We need everybody on board. So you can't say, I don't care about them, let them, whatever. You can't say that. You need to understand that they are important and you are dependent on them because they are part of you. The problem comes when, of course, that connection starts to become a little loose there, and then your dot, as soon as it becomes loose, your mind, your dot, becomes weak as well. You already don't know why are you doing what you're doing. How many Jews don't know what they're doing about giving back this part of Israel, that part of Israel, Jerusalem, and so on? I can show you a whole nut truck, a whole city of them. Well, that's because the knowledge, the dot, is weak. Why? Because of the chibut HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moshe, as we says, is dot mishum kedusha, and Bilam is the klipa of the dot, the husks that covers the dot. Moshe's essence is unity, connection. Bilam's essence is separation, to separate. That's why it's very important. Today among us there could be Jews who are Kohanim, Leviim, Israel, rabbis, Amei Aratzot, Chatulim, whatever you want. If they are Bechibur, they are from Tzad Moshe. If there are people who divide and conquer, they are infected with Bilam's curse. People like this you should stay away from. People who separate, people who divide for their own personal interest or for any interest, you should stay away from it. This is not a healthy thing that would cause you also a problem with your Avodat Hashem. It's like, oh, I'm immune for that. You're not immune for that. Because you are connecting yourself with that mindset, with the klipa, with the husk. You're not dealing with the real essence. It might look like the dot, but it's only the klipa of the dot. It's like you get obsessed with the shell of the watermelon, but not the fruit itself. Yeah. So you need to pay attention very closely. Who are your friends? Who are your rabbis? Who are your people you associate yourself with? Are they people of division or the people of unity? To be very close attention. And Bilam tries to bring, of course, the Kitrug. He tries to bring the district DA on Am Yisrael. So they bring the good girls of downtown, Balak town. Yeah, the Midianiot and all these other chevre. Hey, tzaddik. And because,
simply speaking,
yes,
strippers.
The strippers. That's right. Because that's the only thing that could separate Am Yisrael from the kedusha. And that could make your mind, your dot, ruined. Which dot? The data shlema, the complete, whole. Shalem means whole, harmonious. All of a sudden, problem. That's why, guys, you should stay away from pornography, from all these things. No bachelor's parties are for morons. You should not have bachelor's parties. You should not do all these things. If you are getting married, you want to do a bachelor party, not a problem. Do a marathon of learning throughout the night. Bring borekas, bring pizza. By the way, nobody eating borekas is going to kick you over, you know what. Right? make issues of Kedusha, unite the people through Kedusha, not through Tum'ah. At the greatest day of your wedding, of your life, that so-called you're going to get Mochim de Gadlut, you're going to bring some Tum'ah into your life. What is wrong with you? Now, and that's what happens when he brings those, actually we call them babes, when he brings those girls, right? Bnot Midian, he brings them over. That creates a peirud, a separation, because we betrayed HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a separation between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he, of course, that's what he understood, and that leaves in return, that leaves Am Yisrael vulnerable. When Am Yisrael is vulnerable, then he knows he can get a hit. It's like a guy who does all this acrobatics, moves his hands, he moves. If you see two people fighting, they're always trying to, they move around. They don't come in, bam, 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 right away. They try to see where is there an opening, where is he vulnerable. Then I'm going to hit you when you're vulnerable.
Well, what about?
Now, we also know that all the struggles that used to be at one point also exist today and also exist within the nefesh of the Adam, within your own soul. That's why it's very important to understand and to recognize who is the Balak and Bilam inside of each and every one of us, because that exists in us as well. Balak and Bilam are the shoresh of Amalek. They are the root of Amalek. Which of course Amalek is the force that eats and destroys every good portion in Am Yisrael in our lives. We take the Ayin Mem of Bilam, and we take the Lamed Kuf of Balak, and we get Amalek. And together, this Amalek, of course, we all know that the gematria of Amalek is Safek, which is same gematria of Mar, of bitter. So you get something here very, very interesting. The source of all bitterness in your life is doubt. Safek, doubt. When you don't know why you're doing, when you don't know, when you have doubts, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. The bitterness comes all because of that. And those doubts cause us not to see the good that you have. You buy something new. You're happy for it for a second, then you say, well, maybe the guy charged me too much. Maybe this, maybe that. You're already not happy with what you have. Safek. When you have problems between husband and wife, is because there is a doubt between them. Then bitterness comes. Doubt. Maybe she loves me. Maybe she's not. Maybe he has somebody else. Maybe he should not. Doubts. But if you know for sure, there's no doubt, there's no bitterness. Everybody's happy. The problem comes of doubts. You don't know what you're doing, huh?
Doubts come from expectations.
Yeah. But that's the problem with us. We don't know why are we doing what we do, and therefore we're very bitter about it. If you look at what you have, oh Hashem, it's good, I have. It doesn't make a difference what somebody did to you 5,000 years ago, or what somebody did to you, and if your mother cleaned you up on time, it doesn't make a difference. You know for sure it's all good. And those doubts, disconnect us from unity. And internal unity as well. Not only external, internal unity. From what you know is right. I don't know, I'm not quite sure anymore. It affects your doubt. You don't know. Since I don't know, I have a doubt. Since I have a doubt, I have bitterness. I'm not happy. I'm complaining. Who do you usually complain? God. Always like that. Always like that. That's how it works. And that's why Amalek did in Yam Suf, right? And the mumchiyut, the specialty of Amalek, is to put this doubt inside of you, to cool you off a little bit from Avodat Hashem, to ask you, well, why did Hashem did that? Famous question. Where was God in the Holocaust? I didn't care. I didn't know you care so much about the Holocaust. If you care so much about the Holocaust, when was the last time you helped a Holocaust survivor? Huh? Well, you care about God. Now, you have to understand that it's all depends on your outlook and the way you look at it and things and so on and so forth. And comes Amalek in Kriyat Yamsuf and it says, guys, it wasn't a miracle. It was Derech HaTeva. There was a volcano in Greece that casted shadows and there was wind. It was B'derech HaTeva. It was not a miracle. And you hear this all the time today. You can understand most of the things that you do. If I ask you, why did you do certain things? I don't know why I did it, man. And you want to understand why God did what He did and how He did a miracle. So accept that it was a miracle and move on with your life. Concentrate on what you need to do. And regardless of that, you could see whatever happens in the world in two ways. You could see things happening through a Kadosh Baruch Hu's guidance, or you could see it through complete chaos. But how you see it is up to you. It's all up to you. And this is all up to how much Amalek is controlling you internally yourself. And this is the milchama ledor vador. That's the internal war that we're going to have forever. That's milchama, the war with the demons that we have ourselves inside. That is all the doubts that we have and what we know is right. And we know it is right to do this and not to do that. We all know it's right. And then we start, of course, justify things, and we start to reason things, and we start doubting the validity of what we know is right. And then all of a sudden we feel completely confused, and we say, it's all made up, it's not for me, and so on and so forth. However, this is a control of Amalek inside of you. The Torah commends us to remove the zera Amalek, the seed of Amalek, from inside of us. And what do I mean by a seed? And we're almost finished. Tiru Rabotai. Somebody asked me, if I know that somebody is not going to listen to me, should I give him a tochacha? Should I rebuke him? And I said, yes. But he's not going to do it. And I said, it doesn't make a difference. And I'll tell you why. This person, imagine his soul like a concrete slab, like a sidewalk made of concrete. You can't penetrate it. Even if you're a Chinese kung fu master, you can't penetrate it. However, what you could do is plant a seed there. And one day you don't know where the seed is going to get enough nutrients, because in your chataim, you also sometimes have doubt when this seed is actually going to germinate and slowly crack the sidewalk, crack the concrete. You have to tell the person. You don't know if he's not going to listen to you. You have to tell him once, twice, 3 times. You have to plant the seed. If it's not going to happen now, maybe it'll happen in 30 years. Whether it happens or not, that's not your business. Unless, of course, you want to do so for your own good. You don't really care about the person. You want to say, he was chazer b'tshuva because of me. You don't care about the person, you care about yourself. What difference does it make? You should feel the pain that he's far from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So whether he does it now, does it in 30 years, doesn't make a difference as long as one day he comes back, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not give up on the person until he gives his breath back to him. So you're going to give up? We need to plant the seed inside of that, the seed of optimism, the seed of unity, and we have to eradicate, we have to spray and destroy the seed of Amalek, the seed of doubt from our heart. Know 100% why are you doing what you're doing, and for whom are you doing that? If you don't know, you should know you need some spiritual antibiotics. You are infected with the Balak and Bilam germ virus. The doubt inside of you. That doubt that brought the separation between you and God. The fact that you internally don't feel like a whole intact unit. You also internally are torn. Well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe, who cares? And all this question that we keep on asking ourselves. We should know that one of the best antibiotics to ruin this koach of Amalek, or the power of Bilam and Balak, is Rabotai learning Torah. Praying, davening. That's why I'm very big on davening, and not like some people who like to fall asleep and then do God a favor when they daven shacharit at like 12 o'clock. Learning, verbalizing, saying the words of Torah out of your mouth creates good combinations, good reactions over there. And those words of tefillah and words of Torah help us to complete the name of Hashem in the world. Spread it, fix it. When we don't, we put a dent in that. That's why the tefillah of every Jew is important, because I'm too busy to daven. I'm sorry, I don't have time, You gotta go to work. You gotta go to work. Who gave you work? Who's giving you the ability to work? You don't want to pray now? Fine, not a problem. Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you a little bit, like a bleeding hemorrhoid. Oh God! All of a sudden you become the big believer, right? That's about it. Just a small ache. Oh, my tooth. Oh God, oh God. God said, hello, do I hear anybody here? You know why? You didn't pray when you had to. You didn't pray when you could. God was missing your voice. You little frog. He needs to hear you. What are you doing over there? Drooling on your pillow? Sleeping, snoring? Huh? You know what you do to yourself? That's why it starts right away. You take off your tzitzit. You're not makpil the tzitzit. You're not eager to wear your tzitzit. Soon right after that, of course, forget about Torah. Torah was where people, we're talking about, they already left the Torah. Tzitzit is out. You don't wear tzitzit, it's bad. If a person doesn't wear tzitzit, it's bad news. I know this person is going to track out. One way or another, it's going to be out. A person doesn't pray. Why don't you want to pray? If you know that those things are not in place, especially prayer, the person is out. He's not going to make it. He's not going to make it as a full person. He's out. He doesn't want to talk to God. You just got married without mentioning your name, right? I want to see you trying to sneak next to your wife when you don't talk to her for a week. She's going to give you a stiletto in your head, right? Well, that's exactly what it is. Now,
In this time, it's 21st century, yeah.
yes,
But back then, no.
but people. No, listen. Okay, they didn't have stiletto. They had machetes. Whatever they had.
They knew the corner.
But because we were closer, we weren't disconnected. We lived. Being a Jew was our life. Was us. Now we create a certain difference between us and us as Jews. There's a disconnect spiritually inside of us, and of course that's why learning Torah and davening is important. The whole issue of Tum'ah is to create separation. The whole issue of Dusha, holiness, is putting things together. And the letters, of course, are the buildings of the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked at the Torah and created the world. And it's very important for us to arrange the words appropriately, to put the building blocks appropriately. That's why Anshei Knesset Gedolah were metaken the tefillot the way they did. That's what we have to learn. And when we said davar b'shem omro, mevig geula la'olam, and so on and so forth. And that's why we always have to hear Kol Torah. There always have to be a Kol Torah anywhere you go. B'shivtecha b'vetecha, u'velechtecha b'derech, u'b'shochevecha u'b'komecha. Always have to be Divrei Torah. And it says, Al tiri tolat Yaakov. Don't be afraid the womb of Yaakov, because all our power is in our mouth. The greatest power was given to Am Yisrael in the words of the Torah, in the words of the Tefillah, in speaking of the Hebrew letters. Rabotai, let's unite around HaKadosh Baruch Hu. let's unite around the Torah, and whatever we should do should be of kavod for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and tiferet for Am Yisrael. This should be לעילוי נשמת מור אבי, גדליה מורנו בן מטילדה, וגם גבריאל בן חוסני, איליה בן מזל, רוח השם תניחם בגן עדן, בגן עדן עניון תלמו חתם וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן.